Part 24. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 231. There is also a pattern of behavior, which is very unreasonable. I looked at Xia Chenin, who was in front of him with his head down, and said unhurriedly, he took Zhou Xianxian to many places, the streets near the kindergarten, the supermarket on the roadside, and the park in the middle of the street. It looks like you are taking a child to play aimlessly, but if it is a serial murderer, you should take the victim directly to the destination, and you will never stop meaninglessly. Chu Mingjun listened, his expression gradually became serious. After such an analysis, Xiaochanan really doesn't seem like a murderer, but if he is not, then who is the murderer? When the corpses were discovered in the past, no foreign objects were found, and the victim's own socks or shoelaces were used to bind them. Why was there an extra jumping rope this time? Because the murderer thought the jumping rope was Zhou Xuanxuan's own, but unintentionally planted the crime on Xiaochanan. I sat calmly opposite Xiaochanan, her eyes were calm, the cool light shrouded her, her slender figure was like a blooming white orchid, with a delicate fragrance and glamorous, and every word she said was called people's hearts are shaking. Chu Mingjun was already shocked. He also read that file many times. Why didn't he come to such a conclusion? I is too amazing. Xiaochanan also raised his head, looking at I in the same astonishment. He has already seen that the person who can really help him reverse the case is not the lawyer in suit and leather shoes, but I in front of him. I don't know what your motive is, but I guess you are planning to kidnap Zhou Xianxian, I continued, and you have been hesitating on the way, so you took her around. Xiaochanan's lips were tightly pursed, and annoyance and remorse appeared in his eyes. He was silent for a while, and said with difficulty, yes, you guessed it right, I originally wanted to kidnap her. Chu Mingjun stared blankly at Xiaochanan, completely dumbfounded. Was she really right? But I already regretted it at the time, I really didn't kill her. Xiaochanan's heart was ups and downs, emotional, she was crying for her parents all the way. I was very confused, so I left her and left. Later, because I was worried, I turned back to look for her and found her sitting in someone else's car. I thought it was someone from the Zhou family who found her, so I hurried away. At that time, Xiaochanan was a guilty conscience, fearing that he would be discovered by the Zhou family. He didn't even dare to take a second look, so he had no way of knowing the license plate number of that car. Why did you kidnap Zhou Xianxian? Chu Mingjun was dumbfounded. Are you short of money? Xia Xian runs a jewelry design company. As Xia Xian's only son, it is impossible for him to be short of money. Xiaochanan lowered his eyes, pursed his lips, and showed strong resistance to this question. He didn't want to answer. Chu Mingjun was depressed, but I didn't care too much. Now, please tell me the story of the case again, she said lightly. In the cold reception room, Xiaochanan let out a long sigh, and began to talk about what happened that day again. Visitation ends. Chu Mingjun followed I out, his whole body was still a little clouded, his steps were erratic. Xia Xian came up to her anxiously from outside. Have you seen my son? Did he make it clear? He will be fine, right? Well, he'll be fine. You can go to the law firm with Xiaoming to sign the agency contract first, I said. Xia Xian is overjoyed. To sign a contract, it means that they are willing to defend Xiaochanan. As if lost in the dark for too long, suddenly seeing a glimmer of light ahead, Xia Xian felt sad and happy, her eyes flushed. Miss Mu, I really don't know how to thank you. I must reward you heavily. I smiled lightly and said, of course a lawyer needs to be paid, but that part is paid to Mingjun law firm. I don't need money here. If Ms. Xia is interested, you might as well promise me one thing. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, HandsomeMaleLead. Chapter 232. Muzi asks Xian to promise her one thing. When she said these words, her clear eyes moved slightly, the water shone brightly, and there was a faint smile on her face. Xian stared at Muzi in a daze, hesitated for a while. The hesitation was not because she didn't want to agree. Her son was in jail, let alone one thing, even if it was 100 things, she would agree. She just had some doubts in her heart, and didn't know what Muzi wanted her to do. "Miss Mu, what request do you have? As long as I can do it, I will never refuse," Xian replied very solemnly. When she said this, her tone was decisive, and she seemed to be referring to something, faintly implying something. Neither Chu Mingjun nor Zhang Si understood. Muzi smiled and said, "Don't worry, you must be able to do it." After such a deal, Xian showed a relieved smile on her face, and then went back to the law firm with Chu Mingjun to sign the contract. Zhang Si and Muzi went to the beef noodle restaurant. I ordered 2 bowls of beef noodles, one without spicy and one without green onions. Zhang Si couldn't help being curious, and asked Muzi what she was going to ask Xian to do. Muzi waved at her and whispered in his ear. When Zhang Si heard this, a strange smile appeared on his face, and he snorted, and said, "You are too bad." Muzi said nothing, just ate the noodles with a smile. After the girl child abuse case was solved, Qiao Jingjia became a hero, and because she was a woman, praises were sung on the internet, and all kinds of praise words emerged one after another, making her a goddess. Her ward was filled with flowers, and there were thick thank you letters on the table, as well as many generous gifts from the families of the victims. Qiao Jingjia is almost famous all over the world. Mu Zhenning received a call from Qiao Jingjia's aunt and came to visit Qiao Jingjia. "I don't know what happened between you and Jingjia, but even if she made a big mistake and is lying on the hospital bed, calling your name every night in her dreams, you should be reasonable. Come and see, isn't it? She has paid so much for you, you must have a conscience." The words on the phone were very serious, which made Mu Zhenning feel guilty. He ignored Qiao Jingjia for a long time and avoided seeing her. Besides being angry, he was more embarrassing. What did Qiao Jingjia do wrong? It was nothing more than wearing his wife's clothes, which made him feel uncomfortable in front of everyone. He refused to see Qiao Jingjia, not so much as punishing her, but as avoiding himself, because he didn't want people to think that he was ungrateful and found a new love after his wife died. Mu Zhenning is not a cruel person. Time made him forget the anger that day. Recalling Qiao Jingjia's devotion to him, he couldn't bear it, and felt that he should really visit her. What's more, Qiao Jingjia made a contribution this time and handled a big case. Punishing evil and promoting good is an extremely glorious thing, which can cover up a person's own moral flaws. He walked into the ward. Qiao Jingjia was leaning on the hospital bed, her face was blurred in the backlight, and when she got closer, she saw tears in her eyes. Seeing her haggard and weak appearance, Mu Zhenning couldn't bear it. Zhenning, Qiao Jingjia leaned softly on the bed, her soft voice choked with sobs, "I'm sorry." She didn't argue for herself. A word of sorry can make a man feel more pity. This is Qiao Jingjia's brilliance. After listening to Mu Zhenning, the last trace of complaint in his heart disappeared. "I was also at fault," Mu Zhenning said in a low voice. The tears in Qiao Jingjia's eyes rolled down in an instant, as if she was crying from the heart, and she seemed to be crying with joy. Mu Zhenning sighed softly, and took out a tissue from the cabinet next to the hospital bed to wipe her tears. The rift between the two finally disappeared. While talking, suddenly there were many footsteps coming from outside the ward, mixed with the sound of flashlight shooting, click, click. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, HhandsomeMaleLead. Chapter 233. Zenning looked over suspiciously. Unexpectedly, he saw an unexpected person. Mayor Jiao. Zenning was stunned. Mayor Jiao actually came to visit Jiao Jingjia in person. Are you here to condolences? Zenning's eyes swept over the secretary and the reporter. From the moment Mayor Jiao appeared, the ward was already full. The reporters set up their cameras and looked like they were ready to start work. The mayor's secretary presented flowers with a smile, and Jiao Jingjia also had a soft smile on her face. Zenning suddenly seemed out of place. He and Jiao Jingjia were neither related nor related, so it was embarrassing to stand here. But no one seemed to notice him. Everyone's focus was on Mayor Jiao and Jiao Jingjia. Miss Jiao, shortly after you took office as a prosecutor, you solved the girl abuse and murder case and brought the perpetrator to justice. How do you feel now? This case has been pending for 3 years. How did you notice the suspicious points and find out the real culprit? As a female prosecutor, do you have anything to say to other female compatriots working in the judiciary? The trial is about to begin. Will Ms. Jiao appear in court as the prosecution? Amidst the endless stream of questions, Jiao Jingjia smiled joyfully amidst the flowers and praises. She humbly replied, I just did my own job, and I will do my best in the future and stick to the side of justice. Her answer was firm and forceful, resembling Suzi's demeanor back then. And Mayor Jiao, beside her, smiled all over his face. We have a heroine like Jiao Jingjia, which is the good news for Xinjiang City. This is extremely high praise. Zenning knew in his heart that every word said by these two people would definitely be published in the newspaper with the largest circulation in Xinjiang City tomorrow. The questioning interview lasted about 20 minutes. The mayor's secretary arranged for the reporters to leave the ward, but Mayor Jiao stayed behind. Jiao Jingjia introduced them. This is Zenning, the chairman of the Mu Group. She looked at Zenning, her cheeks flushed with excitement. Zenning, this is Mayor Jiao, he is my father. Zenning's eyes widened slightly, as if he couldn't believe it. He had never heard Jiao Jingjia mention her father. Not to mention that Mayor Jiao has a daughter who works in the procuratorate. Mayor Jiao shook hands with Zenning, very friendly. Mr. Mu, Jingjia often mentions you to me. It is not easy to take on a family business at a young age. Zenning was surprised, but at the same time, he was even more flattered. The mayor is too much. He really didn't expect that Jiao Jingjia's father would be the mayor. Mayor Jiao said with a smile, you young people are usually together, and occasional quarrels are inevitable. As long as you talk about it, there is nothing that cannot be resolved. Don't hurt your feelings. The words seemed to be admonishing slowly by the elders, but there was something in the words, which implied something. Zenning hurriedly said yes. The mayor's secretary outside finished seeing off the reporters, returned to the ward, and whispered something to the mayor. Mayor Jiao asked Jiao Jingjia to take care of her health, and then left with the secretary. The mayor came and went in a hurry. On the hospital bed, Jiao Jingjia looked joyful and shy at the same time. She explained to Zenning, I'm sorry, I didn't deliberately hide it from you. It's really because my father has a special status and he has to worry about the feelings of his family, so it's inconvenient to acknowledge my identity in public. She said with a smile on her face, Father said that after the trial is over, he will hold a family banquet and officially introduce my identity to everyone. Zenning, I am so happy. Blessed to have each other in this life. Shao, your wife is born again. Author, HhandsomeMaleLead. Chapter 234. Jiao Jingjia was really happy. She felt that her life was about to reach its peak. Once the trial is over, she will be famous throughout Xinjiang City, and in the future, even the whole country. The female prosecutor who solved the serial murder case, How majestic! She will be honored and at the same time gain status, the mayor's daughter. Surrounded by a halo, she will be more beautiful than the previous Suzy. No matter how good Suzy is, she is still a commoner, but she is different, she is born noble. Qiao Jingjia explained to Mu Zening why she was Mayor Qiao's daughter. Of course, her choice of words is more particular. For example, she said that her mother and Mayor Qiao used to be lovers, and she only found out that she was pregnant after they broke up. But in fact, her mother was just one of the many women who had been with Mayor Qiao. She happened to have Qiao Jingjia, but she was not taken seriously. Those who walk in the official career, their private life is a great criticism. Mayor Qiao was not the mayor at the time, and he regarded it as a stain. He never wanted to admit Qiao Jingjia's identity, not to mention his wife had already given birth to him. 3 daughters, the Qiao family really has no shortage of daughters. Qiao Jingjia was never reconciled. She can clearly have a noble status and squeeze into the upper class, why should she remain unknown and finally marry an ordinary man to live? Qiao Jingjia worked hard to make progress, she had a tenacity that ordinary people did not have, and finally got her wish to enter the procuratorate. If she can become a prosecutor, Mayor Qiao will definitely honor her and admit her identity. But her application was rejected by Suzy. After finally looking forward to Suzy's death, she wanted to get the evidence of Mayor Qiao's bribery from Suzy's computer, so as to claim credit for the mayor, but the files in the computer disappeared. In the end, however, her luck came. The unsolved case that had not been solved for 3 years was solved by her. She became the heroine of Qingjiang City. Having her as a daughter to Mayor Qiao not only makes her face radiant, but also helps her career. She is finally about to obtain the status she has coveted for a long time. She, Qiao Jingjia, is the daughter of the mayor and a famous lady. The extreme joy was shown on Qiao Jingjia's face, making her look fascinated by herself, and her smile was extremely bright. Father said that not only relatives and friends will be invited to the family banquet, but many leaders will also be there. Zening, can you come that day? Qiao Jingjia stared at Mu Zening with tender eyes, get to know these people better, yes you will help later. She is like a good wife, always thinking about helping her husband's career. Mu Zening was a little moved. But it's out of season. In what capacity is he going to the banquet? As ordinary friends, they are obviously not qualified to participate in this kind of family banquet, but on a deeper level, he and Qiao Jingjia are not yet at that level. Mu Zening's emotions had already calmed down from the shock of seeing the mayor. He looked away and said vaguely, let's talk about it when the time comes. Qiao Jingjia didn't care. If it was before, she might be anxious, but now, with the halo blessing of her new identity, she doesn't believe that Mu Zening will reject her. If she was an ordinary woman, it would be fine to follow Mu Zening without a name, but now she is the mayor's daughter. Can the mayor's daughter casually follow a man? The smile on Qiao Jingjia's face was still soft, with complacency and determination in that softness. She wants Mu Zening to marry her willingly. Since then, she has been the best female prosecutor, the daughter of the mayor of Qingjiang City, and the noble and beautiful mistress of the Mu family. Status, family background, marriage, everything about her is noble and extraordinary. Thinking of this, Qiao Jingjia's blood seemed to heat up, and she couldn't wait. The trial in a week's time will be the beginning of all this glory. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 235. Going to school on Monday, when the classmates saw Mu Zi, they all greeted him one after another. Some people were curious about what serious illness she had, so she didn't come to class for a whole week, while some people cared sincerely. The teacher in the class also kindly asked her if she needed extra lessons. Mu Zi felt a little emotional. The friendship in the student days was natural and pure, and it was a very precious memory. At the end of the morning class, bad news came. The students who failed the physical examination last week had to make up the exam in the afternoon. There was a burst of mourning in the class, which shows that there are many people who failed the exam. Muzi was also among those making up the exam. Zhang Xinyuan asked her worriedly, "Should I tell the teacher that you are just right? Can you run?" "It's okay, let's go with everyone, or I will be left alone to make up the exam next time. It would be embarrassing," Muzi replied with a smile. Zhuang Jia was frowning. She didn't want to take the exam last week, so she escaped with the excuse of her menstrual holiday. She didn't expect that it would be delayed until this week, and she would have to make up the exam. But with Muzi accompanying her, she felt a little comforted. At least she wasn't so lonely. "Aren't you running fast?" Zhuang Jia asked Muzi. Muzi smiled, "Well, not fast." "It's okay, I'm not running fast." Zhuang Jia patted her on the shoulder and said righteously, "Then we will run together." There are many items in the physical examination, such as high jump, long jump, shot put, 800 meters, etc. Most students fail only one or two of them, but Muzi needs to make up every subject. After she changed into her sportswear, her long hair was tied into a fluffy bun at the back of her head, full of youthful vigor. "Then I did warm-up exercises on the playground. Unexpectedly, a group of boys came to watch. Wang Zilong was the first to bear the brunt of it, and ran over very attentively, and handed Muzi a bottle of energy drink. "Grandma, you worked hard on the exam." Muzi I used to think he was sick, but now I know why he calls grandma. Muzi's mood is complicated. "Don't call me that in the future." She was very uncomfortable, and took the drink bottle from Wang Zilong. "Understood." Wang Zilong smiled even deeper. "Grandma's identity must be kept secret, keep it secret." Muzi felt a headache. "Forget it, let him think what he wants." Not far away, Zhuang Jia called her to take the long jump test together, but Muzi ignored Wang Zilong and turned to leave. Wang Zilong didn't seem to know what it means to be cold, and shouted loudly behind Muzi, "Come on for the exam. Come on. Come on." The younger brothers behind him also shouted in unison. "Come on. Come on." The shouts of the boys on the playground are strong and powerful, echoing endlessly. Many students were attracted to stop and watch, wondering who the unscrupulous Wang Zilong was cheering for. Muzi was extremely embarrassed. Walking to the sandy ground, Zhuang Jia asked her, "What is Wang Zilong doing? Has he harassed you again?" "No." Muzi shook her head, and casually stuffed the drink into Zhuang Jia's hand. "I'll drink it for you." "Okay, I'm worried that I won't be able to run the 800 meters for a while." Zhuang Jia didn't show politeness to Muzi. She opened the bottle cap and drank with her head raised. Seeing Wang Zilong in the distance, he yelled loudly, "Zhuang Jia." The little brother behind him didn't know why, so the shout suddenly became, "Come on, Zhuang Jia. Come on. Zhuang Jia. Come on." Zhuang Jia's name was echoing all over the playground. Zhuang Jia was so frightened that she choked and spurted out all the energy drinks she drank. A shocking cough. Cough, 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 cough. Wang Zilong. You are going to scare people to death." Zhuang Jia wished she could cough up her lungs. She drank less from a bottle of drink, but sprayed more. She was about to raise her voice to question, when there was a sudden commotion behind her. "Break the record," the students exclaimed. Muzi broke Gray's long jump record for girls. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life. Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 236. The physical education teacher recorded Muzi's results, and praised with satisfaction, "Dancing well, Did you practice in advance? Everyone should learn from classmate Musei. After that, Musa successively broke the women's 100-meter record, high jump record, and shot put record. Zhuangjie stared blankly at Musei, dumbfounded. This is the state of recovering from a serious illness. If you are not sick, do you want to go to heaven? When it was time to start the 800-meter test, Zhuangjie asked again, aren't you running fast? Musei smiled, well, not fast. Then easily broke the 800-meter record. Zhuangjie didn't know whether it was because she was too shocked, or because she choked too hard on the drink before. She was the last one in the 800-meter test, and was notified by the teacher to continue the makeup test next Monday. She was completely messed up, and she went back and cried to Zhang Xinyuan, Musei is absolutely perverted. It's okay to be the first in the usual exams, and she doesn't even pass the physical exams. She even broke the record. Musei laughed out loud. The trivial things in school made her feel happy, and she felt a lot more relaxed. After school, Musei went outside the school gate. It was not the driver at home who came to pick her up, but Chu Mingjun. They made an appointment to go to Fuxing Road to investigate the case together today. Compared to the leisurely Musei, Xiao is obviously much more decadent, and the distress on his face can be clearly seen. What's the matter? Musei got into the car and asked him. Chu Mingjun was quite depressed, but he was an old man, and it was embarrassing to complain to the little girl, so he started the car silently without saying anything. After driving for a while, he felt that there was no need to hide this matter from Musei, so he told her, 2 lawyers left my law firm. Chu Mingjun's law firm is not large, with only a few lawyers in total, and interns to make up the number. The sudden loss of 2 people is a very serious loss to his law firm. Musei heard this, and asked him with a smile, a newcomer. Chu Mingjun glanced at her, how do you know? New lawyers are just entering the profession, they are always full of ambitions, and they want to become an envoy of justice with passion. If you want to defend Xiaochenan's innocence, they must not be able to bear it, thinking that you are only looking for profit. Chu Mingjun was silent, and after a while, he told Musa sullenly, 2 newcomers have left, and, I see that some senior lawyers in the law firm have not left, but they seem to be looking for another one. Musei couldn't hold back, and burst out laughing. New lawyers leave because they are young and energetic. The old lawyers left because they thought that Mingjun law firm would be notorious after the trial, and they were worried that they would be dragged down. These are all human feelings. Chu Mingjun said with an embarrassing expression, Miss, don't laugh, my law firm is about to disband. When we win the lawsuit, we will recruit people. Musei comforted him with a smile. Is it really possible to win? Chu Mingjun looked at the front of the car and muttered in his mouth. Well, I will win, Musei replied, turning her head to look at the scenery outside the car window. Her voice was so soft that she could hardly hear it. I will definitely win. At the T-junction of Pinkong Avenue and Fuxing Road, there is a large area of demolition of old houses. In addition to road rectification, there is no traffic monitoring on this section of the road. Musei asked Chu Mingjun to park the car on the side of the road, and looked at the surrounding scenery. Dilapidated, desolate. Especially in the direction of Fuxing Road, it is even more desolate. There are forests on one side and rivers on the other. The empty and straight road stretches forward, and only a car passes by at a long time interval. Musei and Chu Mingjun walked along the Fuxing Road for a long time without seeing any branch roads. If it was true that the black car was driving towards Fuxing Road as Xiaochenan said, then unless the car drove into the river, it would not be possible. It may not be captured by surveillance cameras. Where is the surveillance camera? Musei asked. Chu Mingjun pointed forward. In the front, there is a factory in front. The boss is afraid that the workers will steal the materials from the factory and sell them, So he installed a lot of surveillance cameras. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, HandsomeMaleLead. Chapter 237. The efficiency of the factory is not good, and even the security guard at the gate seems lazy. When Mu Ziyi and Chu Mingjun arrived, the security guards didn't even ask any questions, and just took a nap in their security booth. It may also be that seeing Chu Mingjun wearing a suit, he thought that Chu Mingjun was the boss's business partner. Anyway, as long as it doesn't look like a sneaky person, the security doesn't care. Both Chu Mingjun and Mu Ziyi came here for the first time. Although they had read the files and materials, it was a different feeling to check them on the spot. Chu Mingjun searched for the place described in the information, pointed to the camera above the gate, and said to Mu Ziyi, "It should be this one. There are 2 cameras on this side of the gate, one facing inward, one facing outward, and the one facing outward. The cameras just happened to be able to capture what was going on the road." Mu Ziyi raised her head, checked the camera carefully, and then looked at the road in front of the factory gate with a thoughtful expression. Chu Mingjun ran to the security booth by himself, and asked the security guard inside, "Where is your trash can?" The security guard looked at him inexplicably, and pointed to the side. Chu Mingjun followed the trend and saw the trash can by the wall, nodded his thanks and said, "Oh, I see, thank you." Mu Ziyi was puzzled, "Why are you looking for a trash can?" Chu Mingjun was taken aback, and asked her back, "Don't we need to dig through the trash?" "Why dig through the trash?" Mu Ziyi was even more confused. Seeing Mu Ziyi's reaction, Chu Mingjun wondered if he had made a mistake. "Don't we need to dig through the garbage this time? It's embarrassing that he even has gloves ready." He murmured, "I thought it would be the same as last time." "Let's watch the surveillance video." Mu Ziyi didn't hear what he said clearly, and his thoughts at the moment were all on the case. The two found the security guard again and asked to view the surveillance video on November 2nd. Probably because the police came to the factory to check the surveillance from time to time recently, the security guard had no ripples on his face, and took them to the office with a dull face, and called up the video of November 2nd. "This is to pause, press this to fast forward, here, the USB port is here, you can use Bluetooth if you want to copy, don't touch other files." The security guard gave an explanation, and went out lazily. The surveillance video on the day of the incident was used as one of the evidences and was collected by the police, and there is a backup in the case files. Now, Mu Ziyi and Chu Mingjun are in the factory, watching it again at fast-forward speed. During the estimated time of the incident, no vehicles passed by the factory gate. The two looked at the video image displayed on the screen, and they were silent at the same time. After a while, Chu Mingjun's mind suddenly flashed, and he said, "Xia Chenan said that Zhou Xianxian got into that car at around 5:30 p.m., and the police checked the surveillance records around 5:30 p.m., but is it possible?" Later, Chu Mingjun had an idea in his mind, and felt that he had never been so smart before. The prisoner may have parked his car halfway. Because he knew there was a surveillance camera in front of him, he deliberately staggered the time, for example, wait until 8 or 9 in the evening, and then drive there when it gets dark. Mu Ziyi thought, there is a possibility. Chu Mingjun couldn't wait to drag the video back, hoping to find new clues. However, the result was disappointing. Still no vehicles passed. Not only 8 or 9 o'clock, they fast-forwarded until the next day, and there was still no vehicle passing by. Mu Ziyi thought for a while and said, "Look at the surveillance video inside the door." Chu Mingjun was stunned for a moment, and couldn't help saying, "But the camera facing inward cannot see the road from the monitoring range." "It is not necessary to see the road, as long as there is something unusual, it may be a clue," Mu Ziyi replied. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, HandsomeMaleLead. Chapter 238. Chu Mingjun found the surveillance video folder inside Kamen Gate, picked out the record of November 2nd from it, and clicked to play it. I watched it back and forth twice, but found nothing abnormal, and the video screen was as calm as a still painting. I frowned, and said, "Make a copy of both the outward and inward videos, take them home and watch them again. It seems that this is the only way to go." The two left the security office. When they came out, they met a worker in a factory. Chu Mingjun walked over to greet him politely. "Excuse me, on the 2nd of this month, did you see a black car passing by here?" "I don't know. Work didn't start on the 2nd. We will come to the factory when there is work here," the worker replied with a non-local accent. I thought for a while, then asked him, "Do you usually work a lot in the factory?" "It used to be okay, but now it's not good. It's good to start work 2 or 3 times a week." The workers babbled, and then complained to them, "The wages haven't been paid for a long time, and the boss is stubborn. We don't want to work." Many workers, they all went to work elsewhere. After learning that Chu Mingjun was a lawyer, the workers became more enthusiastic and asked Chu Mingjun how to sue the boss for unpaid wages. While the two were chatting, I walked around the factory. The factory is not too big, there are 2 large workshops, the machines are roaring continuously. It seems that work should start today, but there are very few workers. Only saw 7 or 8. If it is in a state where no construction has started, in such a desolate place, it may be impossible to find any witnesses. I and Chu Mingjun left the factory, and they continued to drive along Fuxing Road. Fuxing Road ended at another main road leading in all directions. They lost their direction and had to go back home. On the way, I lowered her head and continued to watch the surveillance video of number 2. Chu Mingjun chatted with her while driving. This factory lives on foreign trade orders. When there is no order, the factory does not start work, and there are no people. Usually only the security guards are here, but I don't think the security guards are reliable. It's completely dawdling, without any vigilance. I looked at the video and replied without raising her head, "Probably because there is nothing worth stealing in the factory. I see that the warehouse is empty." "Yes," Chu Mingjun sighed, "I found nothing today, and the court will be held on Friday. Moreover, because the nature of the case is very bad, it will be heard in public, and many media personnel will be present at that time." Chu Mingjun felt distressed just thinking about it. "What should I do?" "Xiaoming, what do you see here?" I raised the tablet a little higher and let him see it. Chu Mingjun slowed down and glanced over. "What?" I tapped on the screen again. "Look here." Chu Mingjun was suspicious, so he simply parked the car on the side of the road and stared at the computer carefully. It's dust. The gravel on the ground." Chu Mingjun was puzzled, and looked up at I. "Is there something wrong here?" I clicked the play button, and he could see in the video, a layer of sand and soil was gently raised, and the broken grains of sand and gravel rolled a few times on the ground inaudibly. But it was really too small. The picture was already rough, the pebbles were so small that there were only 1 or 2 pixels left. Chu Mingjun didn't know how she noticed it. And then, he still didn't understand, the dust on the ground is flying up, what does it mean? "Maybe a car passed by, kicking up dust," I murmured. Chu Mingjun frowned, "Maybe it's the wind." The video I watched was in the direction of the factory gate, and the shooting range happened to be outside the road, so the situation on the road could not be seen. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life. Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Liao. Chapter 239. If you want to know whether there is a car passing by at that time, You only need to compare the surveillance video with the gate facing outward. Chu Mingjun said, impossible, we have already watched the surveillance video on the second day, and there is not a single car. Muzi has already adjusted the video to the same time. There is no wind. Muzi looked at the computer, a gleam of light flashed in her clear eyes. Impossible. Chu Mingjun brought the computer over to look at it. That's right. At the same time, the wind and waves on the road were calm, and even the withered yellow weeds on the side of the road remained motionless, but dust was raised at the edge of the road. This shows what? The video. Is it fake? Chu Mingjun didn't expect such a result. He was a little confused. Then, which one is fake? Is the gate facing outwards or inwards? Maybe it's all fake. The two videos are not from November 2 and Muzi said decisively. Let's go back to the factory. Chu Mingjun was a little panicked. What are you going to do? If the video is fake, the murderer is probably inside the factory. Obedient, that's a serial murderer. Chu Mingjun was a little scared. Go and copy the video. Muzi said, make a copy of all the surveillance videos in the office. The two returned to the factory again, which surprised the security guard. Why are you back again? Chu Mingjun explained with a smile, the file I just copied was wrong, so I turned around and came back. Sorry for the inconvenience. The security guard was a little impatient, picked up the key and opened the office door again, frowning, and urged, hurry up, I'm off work, I just made an appointment to play cards. Okay, it won't take too long. Chu Mingjun tried his best to smile kindly. Muzi said to the security guard, Uncle, such a big factory needs to be taken care of, and the work is very hard, right? The little girl is pretty, and she speaks softly, which is very pleasing. The security guard looked a little more pleasant, and replied, it's okay, this job is free, but it's a bit boring. As you can see, there may not be a person here all day long, and sometimes it's not easy to find someone to talk to. That's really boring. Muzi nodded agreeingly, and asked, are you the only security guard? If there are two of you, you can still have a companion. There is one more person, we come here alternately. Uncle Security said, curling his lips, it's even more boring with him, it's a stuffy jar. Muzi silently remembered it in her heart. The amount of video to be copied was too large, and the security guard waited for a while and urged them again. Chu Mingjun immediately took out a few banknotes from his wallet and stuffed them into the hands of the security guard. I'm sorry to delay your time playing cards, we are also helping the leader with errands, and we can't do business without bringing these things back. Hey, I understand, they are all working for others. After collecting the money, the security guard left them alone and wandered out. Normally, the surveillance video of the factory will be saved for 1 to 2 months, and overdue videos will be automatically cleared regularly. The videos of this factory have been accumulated for nearly 2 months. Fortunately, the USB flash drive brought by Chu Mingjun has enough storage space to copy them completely. However, such a large amount of files makes Xiaoming feel dizzy. When will I see this before I can finish it? The videos are divided into one section every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. There are 12 videos, and the amount of 2 months, more than 700 videos. The fake video on November 2nd must have reused the previous video. Muzi narrowed her eyes slightly, like a shrewd little fox. This video was recorded in the evening. We only need to check it every 4 p.m. from the video from 1 to 6 o'clock. The weather, light, and wind direction will not be the same every day, and subtle differences will always be found. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Liao. Chapter 240. Once the same video is found, it can be proved that this video is fake. Xia Chenan's case will undergo a major reversal. Chu Mingjun suddenly gained confidence, and vigorously made a cheering gesture. Okay. Start today, work overtime, and watch videos. 2 months, 60 videos in the dusk time period, except for people and vehicles passing by, and rainy, cloudy, and windy days, there are more than 20 similar videos left. The next job was like the most difficult game of finding faults. Chu Mingjun called all the staff of the company, even the little sister at the front desk participated, and everyone searched for the same video together. Muzi went to class as usual during the day, and went to Mingjun law firm after school to check the progress of the search. This is not only physical work, but also a test of endurance and carefulness. Each video is 120 minutes long, and they have to compare it frame by frame and second, and some videos even need to be watched many times. The trial time is getting closer and closer. Although Chu Mingjun deliberately keeps a low profile, the news that Mingjun law firm will defend Xiaochenan's innocence spreads. All of a sudden, there was a lot of scolding on the internet. Some people said that Chu Mingjun received a huge commission from the Xia family, while others said that the Jun law firm was for attracting people's attention. The 18 generations of Chu Mingjun's ancestors were all scolded, and the phone in the law firm was also rang. Under such pressure, several people in the law firm left one after another, and finally only a novice lawyer, an accountant, and a young girl at the front desk remained. However, Chu Mingjun was very righteous. He carried it off abruptly, and did not disclose any information about Muzi to the public, so that Muzi could continue to go to school in peace. Before school ended on Thursday, Muzi was in the girls' bathroom and overheard a conversation. "Xinai, are you really not going to the dance this Sunday?" "We're all going, it's boring if you don't go." "I want to go too, but my dad said that you can't miss the family dinner on Sunday, alas." "Why is the family banquet so important?" "It is said to be a family banquet, but it is actually a celebration banquet," Jiao Xinmei said casually with contempt in her tone. "Do you know the serial murder case discussed on the internet recently?" "I know, the murderer is really perverted. He killed 5 or 6-year-old children. Fortunately, he was caught. I heard that the trial will be held soon. I hope he will be sentenced to death." "Well, the court will be held on Friday. The person in charge of this case is Jiao Jingjia, who is my father's daughter." Jiao Xinmei snorted. "This time she is very powerful, and I will call her sister in the future." Muzi in the bathroom heard that the hand that was about to open the door was hanging in the air, and she paused for a moment. The girl outside let out an ah in surprise, and said, "She's actually your sister?" Jiao Xinmei complained, "Yeah, I don't know which woman jumped out of the belly, and she actually asked me to call her sister. Thinking about it, I feel sick and panic. Hey, let's not talk about this, I am really upset." The girl outside left the bathroom while talking. Muzi came out of the cubicle, turned on the tap to wash her hands, looked at herself in the mirror, and remained silent for a long time. It surprised me that Jiao Jingjia worked under her. She had read the resume, and the family relationship did not fill in the father. She always thought that Jiao Jingjia was a single-parent family, but she never thought that her father would be Mayor Jiao. Muzi took out her phone, thinking she should talk to Zhang Ci. Just then Zhang Ci called. "This Sunday, Mayor Jiao is going to hold a banquet for Jiao Jingjia," Zhang Ci said on the phone anxiously. "The chief of our police station has also received an invitation letter, and everyone is spreading the word that Jiao Jingjia is actually the mayor's friend daughter." "Yes, I see," Muzi responded. Zhang Ci was surprised. "You know?" "Yes," Muzi sighed quietly. "Just 1 minute before you called, I heard Mayor Jiao's youngest daughter say it with my own ears."